Second hour here for Breakfast Extra for Saturday edition, and our next big story. Well, it takes us inside the People's Democratic Party, where the countdown to the National Convention scheduled for November 15 and 16 in Ibadan is already marked by tension. A group loyal to FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, comprising former governors and heavyweight stakeholders, has issued a 6-point demand: fresh congresses in Ebonyi and Anambra, a new Southeastern Zonal Congress, respect for the court-recognized South-South Congress, immediate Ekiti LGA congresses, strict adherence to NEC guidelines without microzoning, and retention of the National Chairmanship in the North Central. Now, they insist that ignoring these demands risks invalidating the entire convention and excluding legitimate members from the process. In response, PDP's leadership, including National Chairman Umar Damagum and Governors Forum Chair Bala Mohammed, have pledged that the convention will go ahead as planned. They argue that unity and discipline must prevail and that no one faction should dictate the direction of the party through ultimatums.
So what does this really mean for party unity, credibility, and the PDP's larger role in Nigeria's opposition politics? To help us unpack this, we are joined by George Turnah, Zonal Secretary of the PDP South-South Zone. Mr. Turnah, thank you for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thank you. It's good to see you again.
Good morning. Good morning. Mr. Turnah, let's start with the issue, the heart of this matter. Are these 6-point demands from Wike's camp about ensuring fairness within the PDP, or are they more about power consolidation?
Okay, let me first of all make the point that in a political group, a political platform like the PDP, you know, having what people call cartels or group or leanings or interests, you know, collections as it were, are normal, because it's politics we are playing, and politics is played along interest line. You know, it's actually a struggle and conspiracy, you know, for control of man and resources, for betterment of the people, you know, who ultimately benefit. Now, the 6 points that the eminent stakeholders and concerned citizens under the leadership of the FCT Minister, Chief Dr. Nyesom Wike, has given out, it's actually meant to save the party. Because what we have simply done is to call the attention of the party to critical issues that could jeopardize either the convention or its outcome. And don't forget, the implication of this convention is that we are going there to elect national officers, new set of national officers. And you know that it is these national officers that will preside over the conduct of primaries for 2027 elections. So once we get it wrongly, if we get it wrong at this level of convention, then you can be sure that we'll be putting something on nothing and it will definitely collapse. We don't want to fall in those unfortunate situations where the court comes up tomorrow to nullify elections that people would have worked very hard to win. What are we simply saying? For instance, the issues in Ebonyi and Anambra and Southeast and South-South Zone, issues that have already received judicial pronouncements. Now, a party in opposition must respect the rule of law, must do things in line with the dictates of both our constitution and what the law says. And so, ordinarily, should anybody be asking the party or reminding the party to respect judicial pronouncements? The answer is no. And then don't forget, once you have people who are not legitimate delegates participate in that convention, it nullifies, it becomes a nullity ab initio. For instance, I'll give you a case in Southeast. The chairman, the then chairman of Zonal, national vice chairman of Southeast, Honorable Ale Defa, has been expelled by his ward That expulsion has been ratified by the local government structure of the party and the state. Now, the Federal High Court in Abakaliki have also affirmed that expulsion. And in that judgment, it is important to emphasize that the court said that any meeting of the PDP attended by Ali Odefe is clothed in illegality and it is null and void. Now, Ali has been carrying on as though he is still the national vice chairman of the party, attending NEC meetings. These NEC meetings are fixing conventions, inaugurating this and that committee, and Ali is going to participate in a convention, and all of that will be putting something on nothing. And then again, Ali was also the one who now convened a zonal, Southeast Zonal Congress that elected a group of people who now say they are Southeast executive of the Southeast zone of the party. All of this is clothed in illegality. Even that Congress they held was restrained by the court not to go ahead, but they proceeded. So we are simply, under the leadership of the FCT Minister, we are simply pointing out these issues. And look, when people say the FCT Minister is not interested in the party survival or in the party survival law, he wants to kill the party, it is his actions show otherwise. If these are weapons ordinarily anybody will hold on to, to cripple the party at the right time. But he is rather pointing them out. Gentlemen, there are court decisions in Ebonyi, court decisions in Anambra, court decisions in the Southeast. Take the South case, for instance. The Federal High Court even went as far as restraining the PDP having any dealing whatsoever with Chief Gidi and a certain caretaker committee.
Mr. Turnah,
the party continues, to carry on as if there are no consequences. But these judicial cases do not just have the party. INEC are also parties to these cases. So at the end of the day, we have issues. Then let me just touch on the zoning before, so I can lay proper. On the zoning committee that we had,
right,
had come up with the zoning committee came up with a fine report and said status quo should be maintained between the north and the south. That was perfect. And we agree in total because it is also in line with the constitution. It is constitutional. Now what happens is that if the constitution has provided that a national officer is elected to serve for 4 years and is entitled to 6 second term to be re-elected for another 4 years after that, no more. So if you do a zoning that shuts a national officer who is in his first term now out for the race, that's a constitutional breach on the rights of such an officer. So we are saying that since we have agreed at the national that zoning the status quo should remain, it should also travel down to the regions where we have these micro zonings. So if the national secretary is in the southeast, right, since we have agreed it should remain in southern region, it should also remain in southeast. That's why we said there should be no further micro zoning beyond what we have at the moment. And that is why we say that the national chairman must remain in the north central. So these are some of the issues,
Okay,
that
Mr.
we
Turnah,
need to deal with.
Mr. Turnah, based on what you've said, if I heard you correctly, you are saying that if they don't adhere to the 6-point demands that Minister Nyesom Wike gave, it's going to affect and it could disenfranchise part of the party. So if some people are ignoring this and going ahead with the convention, don't you think that this is now going to give an upper hand to APC and cause chaos in PDP as a party?
No, it is going to be catastrophic, I can assure you. Because what will happen is that you would have deprived legitimate delegates to that convention and then now allow illegitimate delegates to participate in the convention. Of course, the consequences that will follow. Everything that is done in that convention will collapse. And that is what Nyesom, the FCT minister, does not want. He loves this party with his heart. He has done so much for this party. The party runs in his DNA. Ordinarily, he shouldn't bother. But, anything called by his name is too important to him. And he doesn't want this party to fail.
Let me take you on that.
And that is why he's pointing out...
Mr. Turnah, let me take you on that now. Now, you say that the FCT minister actually bleeds PDP. from everything and every explanation that you've given this morning regarding the 6-point agenda, everything sort of like seems very, very proper, orderly. And also to go with the constitution of the PDP, you are actually saying the truth. It seems that it's correct. However, what about the issue of timing? Because these kinds of issues, when you raise them at specific times, they have the tendency to destabilize whatever processes are on ground. The convention, for instance, in November 15 and 16. If these issues are coming up now, what is it costing the PDP? Its harmony, its unity. What is it costing it in terms of what people on the outside, the voters, people who are loyal to the PDP think about the party with the disunity that seemingly is rocking it currently, especially this close to the state elections in 2026 and then the presidential elections in 2027. So are these considerations being put in, being taken to mind is my question.
You see, once the right thing is done and we do away with impunity and we bring us, we'll come down from our high horses and do the right thing, there will be no crisis. I really don't see any crack or disunity, as it were. What we are just saying is, look, do the right thing. Obey the rule of law. There are court decisions, respect them. It doesn't matter if those who are benefiting belong to a clique or a group or we're all one. It's the same party and the same one PDP. And it is not late. It is rather better raised now, than, to be too late to listen when the head is chopped off. So if we travel in this illegality and then we go into convention, spend resources, man and material, and then at the end of the day, it is nullified for just one simple thing that adhering to the rule of law would have resolved. In 2019, don't forget, the APC could not produce a candidate for any election in Rivers State. In Zamfara, you saw those who won were dismissed. And it goes on and on. So these things happened in our very before. So why do you take this risk? Because you don't like Ebonyi and Anambra? So because you hate somebody, you prefer that, the whole house to collapse? That is not what we want. That is not what Chief Nyesom Wike wants. It's our party. We love this party so much and want the right thing to be done. Look, everything that Wike have insisted. You see Wike, wherever you see rule of law, you find Wike there. Wherever you see justice, equity, and fairness, you find Wike there. This man came and said, look, let's respect the decision of the Supreme Court with respect to the National Secretary. It became an issue until they saw reasons with him. This man said, look, let us zone the presidency. President Muhammad Buhari done 8 years. Let's zone the presidency to the southern part of Nigeria. We refuse. We grandstanded and all the things that arrogance and everything. Look at where we are today. Today they have come back to say, oh, you were right. They have zoned the presidency to the again. The 6 points. Why don't we come down and look at these issues? They are not rocket science. Look at these issues and how do they are the party today and tomorrow and take the best decision in interest of the party. So I really feel that those who are allowing ego, ego play to come in because maybe you don't want it to look as if because Wike have raised these issues and if we go this way, Nigerians will look as if and Wike is taking everything on Wike is winning. No, it's not about winning. It's not about who is winning and who is losing. It's about the survival of the party. And I would really, really want to appeal to our leaders, to give reasoning a chance. Look at these issues that the eminent leaders and consultants have raised and see how best to. In fact, let me tell you, at the last NEC meeting, the NEC agreed that there is the need to conduct fresh congresses in Anambra and Ebonyi in line with the decisions of subsisting of the court.
Right.
It's in the interest of the party, really.
So, Mr. Turnah, you have stated clearly that, the 6-point agenda is correct. And now we have just few weeks to this stated convention. What do you think? What steps can, the PDP take to project unity and, not division? Because really, if it continues like this and, it's divided and they go ahead with the convention, then we're sure that there's going to be chaos. So what step can they take to project unity?
Yeah, leadership must be focused. We must do away with ego, egoism and egocentric behaviors. We must come down and respect the rule of law. Where there are court decisions, respect those judgments. The national chairman we have today became acting national chairman on the strength of judicial pronouncement. I mean, there are no two ways about it. The court have said something, we have to obey. We are Nigerians. And if a party struggling to bounce back to power cannot obey simple judgments or decisions of court, then what are we telling the ordinary Nigerians out there? So it's important that we do the right thing, and then show leadership. Let's drop hatred and, it's a Wike, you don't like Wike. No, why is Wike the one raising this issue? No, leave the messenger, look at the message. Are there merits? Are these things that will save this party tomorrow? If yes, do the right thing. That is the essence of leadership.
Oh. Well, Mr. Turnah, real quick, there's a certain argument out there, and I hope that you'd actually summarize your answer here regarding the role that Wike plays in all of this, destabilizing the PDP. Now, this is an argument, not mine. I just want you to tell us what you think. Do you feel that these demands are actually serving to destabilize the PDP to the benefit of other parties? That's a very direct question because it's an argument.
To destabilize the party, he will not point out these landmines. He will keep to himself. Like I said, these are bombs. These are heavy weapons that can be used to collapse the party at any moment. So he will not have any business raising them. He will keep them close to his chest and allow them to travel with their convention. And then once they finish, he will come with
what time should he have raised these issues? So close to the convention?
We have always been on this. For instance, you should know the issue about South Zone has always been on. Wike has kept talking about these issues, and we had too many issues. We had the issue of National Secretary. We had the issue of South Zone. We have too many issues, and they are not listening. They are not listening. That is the point. They are not listening. They should listen. Okay. They should listen and do the right thing.
All right.
It doesn't take anything to do the right thing.
Thank you so much, George Turnah. Thank you for joining us. He is the Zonal Secretary of the South Zone. Thank you.